And we're in, and welcome back to Terraria. Well, last time we fought the Old One's army once again, only we came close, down to 3,000 health. We could have beaten Betsy. If we did beat him, we wouldn't have won the event, but it was not meant to be. I was unable to do it. And so now we can move on to the end game. Now before we start, I'd like to address I'm no longer in low power mode. I was able to swap out my fuel, refuel up, and we're back to normal-ish. So what is the goal for today? Well, as I mentioned before, we have beaten almost every boss. Betsy still eludes us, but I gave it my best try. A couple more tries I probably would have been able to beat her, but nah, just not on my cards. Eventually what I'll do is I'll mark down where those little turret things are so I can set traps for them and blah 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 blah. It is possible to beat her and the event, but I gave my best try and it's not really necessary. So with that being taken care of, we only have 2 more bosses and 1 more event. For those of you who are Terrarian veterans, you already know that is the Lunatic Cultist, the Pillar event, and of course the final boss himself, the Moon Lord. So, I guess today we tackle the Lunatic Cultist and maybe a couple towers. I say maybe because there's still also a couple things I need to do before we fight Moon Lord. 1, I need to, let's just say, finish a secret project of mine for Terraria for the very end. And 2, I gotta build a Moon Lord arena. Now, I don't really build an arena for Moon Lord. I use a pre-existing arena and I call it. Basically, I would take an arena like this, put a couple of floating honey blocks, switch to the Duke Fishron mount, and hope for the best. Which I may still have, but for the most part, for the first try at least, I want to use my old school Moon Lord arena. The very first one I ever made during my very first boss fight. And it's not very good. I don't know if it'll hold up, especially in master mode, but I would like to do that. And then, yeah, we're approaching endgame, and once we have beaten Moon Lord, we'll farm him, get all the endgame armor and loot and stuff like that. Probably build the Zenith before we officially quit, and move on to another Terraria series. I already got it in the works, but that all happens later. For now, we have a boss fight to get to. Okay, we have all our potions, all our bullets. I'm not taking a launcher. I was thinking about taking a launcher, but I don't think we'll need it. We're just going to very quickly make the time dusk so we can get the nighttime buff. I would normally just sleep, but why sleep when we can change time ourselves? Here we go over into the glow shroom biome, which is right next to the arena, or the place we'll be fighting. That's right, if you remember, this is our old, whatchamacallit, Skeletron arena. Yes. Now, it doesn't have everything we need, so we'll quickly, I should have brought it with me, but honor system, I'll go back and grab them. We'll grab a Bast statue. We'll grab bubbles. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll grab honey. I only need 1 bucket, but we'll take the infinite. And a heart lantern. There. Again, we have these, we have a lot of them. I'll just go back and grab them later. Think of this as an extra inventory, and I just realized it's more than 4 bubbles we need. Okay, we'll just take a whole inventory of bubbles. I said a whole inventory of bubbles. Okay, we'll put it, let's just say right here, off the ground. There we go. I love the fact that these are how bubble blocks are used. I also never knew that. Oh, go away. Let's try to make a real quick arena, or modify our pre-existing arena. In fact, technically this is our better one because it has the sunflower bonus, which we don't have at any other one. Okay, there's all that. So, how do we fight the Lunatic Cultist? Sorry about that, audio error. So how do we fight the Lunatic Cultist? Well, as you can see, there are people down here that weren't before. The Cultist Archer, the Cultist Devotee, and there's a set. Basically, we defeat them, and then the Lunatic Cultist appears. Let me take care of these real quick. And let us switch to our homing bullets. Buff up. And let's do this. And yes, they do attack you. But now the Lunatic Cultist appears. And we begin. And apparently there's meteor heads here. Now luckily this is basically an aerial battle. So, fairly easy. Dodge projectiles. Hopefully don't get hit, which I've already gotten hit several times. And watch out for this attack. They create clones and you gotta hit the right one. Otherwise, it gets a lot stronger. But this is, I wouldn't say an easy, it's a simple boss fight. Not necessarily easy, but a simple one. Mainly you gotta look out for, this. If you screw this up, yeah, it gets a lot harder. But you can see, we haven't really taken a hit. Fireballs are easy to dodge, ice is easy to dodge. As I get hit, or wood, lightning's easy to dodge. The only thing difficult is, ooh. Okay, don't recognize that spell. Ooh. Okay, top again. You're supposed to switch between all three, you know, right? Ooh, new attacks. New attacks are fun. I can see with that star attack and the dark attack, they are enemies, so homing bullets will get hit, as well as piercing bullets, so it's kind of a barrier rather than an attack. Are you top again? See, what the Lunatic Cultist is supposed to do is swap between those three at random, and if you hit the wrong one, they summon an extra copy of themselves to cast spells, and a dragon or something like that. Okay, could you get down here? There's an arena down here. Oh, there you are, the right. And if you're wondering how can you tell, oh, there you go. As I sit here, I wonder, should I look for a new location to live to go with my new style? If you're wondering how could you tell which one, ooh, the vortex, which actually is what we want, but not right now, or I guess sure, jump straight into it. Of the three clones, only one has a stripe on its hood, and that tells you which one's the real version. Now, I actually didn't know that. That was pointed out to me in, I believe I was watching just somebody do a casual playthrough and they mentioned that. Okay, so we know the vortex is to the right. So, we are immediately into the pillar event. And we have to start off, yes I said have to, with the vortex. Why? Not because vortex is right here, because vortex is the endgame range set. So, we have to take care of it first to get our weapon. Because in the event, let me just turn this off real quick. How do I explain this? Okay, there's four pillars. There's the vortex, which we're currently in. There is the nebula, I believe is what it's called. There is, can't think of it. The stardust and the, is it Nova? Solar pillar. Nova is a solar pillar. Now each of these pillars represent the four classes. Stardust is summoner, vortex is range, nebula is mage, and I'm about to die. Solar is melee. And, oh, I'm still not dead. So how these events worked is they spawn a pillar, hence the pillar name, I died. And those pillars spawn enemies that are associated with it. This is a vortex pillar, so as you can see, we have aliens and people with guns. Completing this will, or as you can see down here, or was down there. Sorry, I'm getting all over the place. As you can see down there, it said 51 out of 100. Now, the way these pillars work is you have to defeat 100 enemies, because that will bring down the barrier around the pillar, allowing the pillar to take damage. And each pillar has their own enemies and strengths and weaknesses. As you can see, we defeat an enemy, there's that line. That line goes straight to the pillar and destroys the shield a little bit more. Once we destroy the pillar, we get something called, I call them celestial fragments. That's probably what they're called, I don't know. And those fragments are what's used to craft endgame armor and weapons. Now technically Moonlord is the one that gives you the best weapons and the metal for the armor. But in terms of weapons, you can craft something out of this. So, for instance, we will get vortex fragments. If we get enough vortex fragments, we can craft one of the vortex weapons. Because there's a gun and a bow. So every range gets their options. Okay, only 29 left. And of the pillars, I would say I'm about to disappear again. I'm about to perish. I know Solar is considered the most difficult by everybody, but personally, I think Nebula is the most difficult. It's the one I tend to perish on most. Solar is difficult, yes, but if you don't fly, it becomes a lot easier. Also depending on spawn. Okay, only 10 more, and then the pillar will appear, or not appear, it's right here. It's right here. There it is, the vortex pillar. But after we defeat the next 7, as you'll see, the shield will disappear and the pillar is able to be hit. And yes, I'm still using my homing bullets, only to make this a lot quicker and easier. Okay, the pillar can be attacked, it has its own health bar, but it does not attack if I remember correctly. I think only the solar pillar attacks, which is cool, and another reason why it's the most difficult. Okay, I need some form of piercing, please. Or just for the enemies to get out of the way, so my bullets will home on the pillar. Take care of the pillar. I should have brought explosive bullets. Okay, look, this witch's broom is OP. It used to be you have to get the UFO card, but there we go. The vortex pillar is destroyed. Your mind goes numb, a warning that, hey, things are going down. Oh no, I got hit by that. It's, I think, a vortex effect that makes you go up and down and unable to control yourself. Just give me the fragment. Thank you. And we're out. Okay. So now that I can regroup, we got this ancient manipulator, which if I throw it down, not only looks cool, but is used for endgame crafting. So if I come over to our guide, who apparently knows everything in this game, and we give them the vortex fragments. Swirling energies emanate from this fragment. You see all the things you can craft. You can craft the ultimate healing potion. You can craft blocks, because of course everything wants blocks and bricks now. You can get the ultimate grapple hook, which although is cool, you pretty much stop using grapple hooks in hard mode because of wings. You can convert all the different fragments into their respective counterparts. So one vortex, one nebula, one stardust can make solar. If you have everything crafted, it's a nice thing. You can make the vortex monolith, which if you recall that little planet and effect in the background, the monolith lets you trigger that manually. So add for world building. And of course we have tools, endgame tools. I think they're all the same stats. It's just vortex, nebula, solar, whatever you want, including drills, which I appreciate even though I don't think they're as good. Then we have the vortex dye, because of course, dyes are important. You can make the celestial sigil, which I'll cover when we fight Moonlord. And then we have the weapons. We can craft the vortex beater, which is almost the endgame gun. Technically there's one above it you get for the Moonlord. But for now, this is going to be the strongest weapon we have. As you can see, 135 damage to our currently 97 damage, and that's with a godly modifier and our armor. So as you can see, already stronger, 45% chance to crit. This is a 50% chance, and that's without all the bonuses and modifiers again. And a very fast firing speed. I think they're about, okay, so it's slower technically, but with a lot of damage, that's a big difference. And a 66% chance not to consume ammo, whereas this is only 50. So you can see it's superior in every way. Plus, if I remember correctly, every couple of shots it fires a grenade. It doesn't cost any ammo, it's just a nice bonus. Then we have the Phantasm Bow, which is endgame bow. And then of course, once you are able to beat the Moon Lord, which the Celestial Sigil is used to summon, because the Moon Lord will automatically spawn after all 4 pillars have been beaten. But if you have this fragment, you can just summon a Moon Lord without having to go through the event and fighting the Lunatic Cultist again, the pillars again, whatever. And with that, you get Luminite ore to make Luminite bars. And with that, you can craft the endgame armor, the pinnacle of armor, unless you're looking for a gag build or a funny build or a special build, which in this case is the Vortex helmet, Vortex breastplate, Vortex leggings, and you get the Vortex booster. Now, technically, this is supposed to be an endgame set of wings, but depending on what you want, like this is like the hoverboard, because like you can see it says press to toggle hover. So it's like good for shooting, but you know, I still think the solar wings are the best, and I think Moonlord now drops a special set of wings, which are actually the best in the game. So this is up for grabs, you know, up for debate, but it does look cool. And with that, that's everything from the Vortex. So how many do we need? We need 18 for the beater, and we have 45. More than enough. 10, 30, 45 for the armor. We have exactly enough for the armor, but we need to make the weapon. Because guess what? We can actually make this right now. Right? Or can you not do that now? Ancient Manipulator. I have the Ancient Manipulator. Oh, that's the imbuing stand. This is the Manipulator. Boom. Intimidating. We will reforge that. Vortex Beater. So let me show you real quick the Vortex Beater. As you can see, fire rate, and yeah, there's a grenade. So in addition to a decent spread and, well, just overall damage, I mean, look at this, 101 versus 72, and that's with a bad modifier. Ooh, it gets crazy. And then the explosive grenade is a nice little bonus. So right now, we actually have the best gun we can have right now. How much money do we have in the old piggy bank? No, not you, the piggy bank. Piggy bank, we have 4 platinum. You know what, let's try to slap a modifier on this real quick. Okay, the Nebula, which I don't like, is next to ice. Solar is by the jungle, and Stardust is right there on the desert. We will do Stardust last, as it is the easiest, and as I said, after last pillar, the Moonlord spawns. So you want to go with something easy so you still have all your health and resources. Okay, Goblin, be nice to me. And it's 25 gold. Yes, I have a discount card, but oh, come on. Give me, there we go, Godly. We'll take Godly. Oh, that jumped up to 157. Ooh. This thing's gonna rip people apart. And it does work with our homing bullets. Now I could probably go beat Betsy. But I'm not gonna. So, next time, the other 3 pillars, and I'm gonna build my original Moonlord Arena. Take your guesses of what you think my very first Moonlord Arena ever was. Odds are, you're gonna be wrong. Just saying. Well, that was a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed playing. And if you did, please consider hitting the like button and impacting the subscribe button. It'll help out in the long run. With all that being said, this has been The Mechanist, logging off. Until next time.